Hello and welcome back to the Villa View. Today we're going to do the Villa View transfer review, easy for me to say, where we go through and we look back at all our summer signings and we're going to give them a mark out of 10 of how we think they've done so far. So stay tuned. Our first signing back in the summer was club captain Tommy ELPHICK. I think we'll all agree that we all had high hopes for Tommy when he first came in, and we all agreed that he was the right kind of character and someone that was going to lead the club well in the Championship. Obviously he came in from Bournemouth, where he'd won the league before and he had experience, so it looked like it was a no-brainer. It looked like it was a really good signing. He started off pretty well, but then things really started to tail off and he hit a bad run of form that he struggled to recover from. Injuries have then hit and he's only just won his place back in the team due to Nathan Baker's injury. I think the problem for ELPHICK now is that we look better with Baker and Chester at centre-back than we did with him or Baker, or with him and Chester, so he's going to find it very difficult to get back in the side now. I think he was a good signing in the respects that I think he was the right kind of character and he is a leader, and even when he's not playing, I think he's probably very useful to have around the dressing room and in the training ground. But recent performances haven't been great. I'm not scapegoating him here, but he's come back into the team for the Leeds game and we've lost 2-0, whereas we were looking reasonably comfortable at the back before then. As I say, I'm not blaming him for that, and I do think he may still become an important player for us this season, but at the moment it's difficult to give him anything other than a 5 out of 10. Next up is Pierluigi Gollini, the Italian under-21 international who we brought in from Verona in the summer. Let me start off by saying I really believe that Gollini is going to be a top goalkeeper. I think he's got everything you need from a goalkeeper. I think his distribution's good. He can come and get things. He's big, he's strong, and he's a very good shot stopper. Admittedly, he had a few sticky moments to begin with, and perhaps you could blame him for the goal last week, although I don't personally, but I genuinely think those moments in his first few games were really bad luck. I think 99 times out of 100, they don't end up being goals, and Gollini looks like a very good signing. He's had some very good moments as well, and I think in Bruce's early days, I think he kept us in some games when we were in trouble and perhaps up against the ropes. But I remember when Man U signed David De Gea, and I'm not saying for 1 minute that Gollini's going to go on and be as good as David De Gea, although I hope he is, but De Gea had a few very sticky moments where he looked like he wasn't going to be a good signing. He's now easily one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Obviously Real Madrid have been after him for a few years. With Gollini, I think he's really worth sticking with. I can see that there is definite potential there, and he's an absolute step up from Brad Guzan and Mark Bunn that we had last season. You could argue that we need another keeper to come and have competition with him, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I think we definitely need an experienced backup to Gollini who's better than Mark Bunn. But for me, Gollini remains number one. And for me, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 because I think he's a very good goalkeeper and I think he's turned into a good signing. Next through the door was Aaron TSHIBOLA. Again, we had high hopes for him, and I think basically he came in because Steve Clarke, who'd formerly managed Reading, knew a lot about him and knew that he had very good potential, which I think is still the case. It just hasn't worked out for TSHIBOLA under Bruce so far. He's had some positive moments, including his goal against Newcastle, which salvaged a point for us. But recently he has completely disappeared, in all honesty. I still do think, again, like ELPHICK, that he will turn out to be a good signing. I think TSHIBOLA, he can carry the ball. He's big, he's strong, his passing's good, he gets stuck in. So in a few years' time, he could become a very important player for Aston Villa. But at the moment, for whatever reason, Steve Bruce doesn't seem to want to put him in the team. At the moment, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10, but I still think he will become an important player in the very near future or in the distant future. Ross McCORMACK was signed for big money from Fulham in the summer, and he came in with high expectations. For whatever reason, it hasn't really worked out so far for Ross, which is unfortunate because I think he's a good player, and obviously he's proven that he can play at Championship level, and he's joined Villa looking to fire us back into the Premier League and give himself a chance in that league. Again, I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but he's one that I wouldn't rule out being an excellent signing still. It's a long season. I think he will come back into the team at some point, and he has had some good moments. He scored a couple of goals, and he's a very creative player, which is something I think we've often missed. I just think the last time he started, he was played as a lone forward, and with his frame, that's never going to work. He's not a lone forward. He's much better as a deep lying forward. Get the right players around him, get him firing, and he will fire us up the league. I have no doubt about that. Again, I'm going to have to give him a 5 out of 10 for current performances, but come the summer, I think he will have played an important part in our promotion push. Now, what has to go down as our best signing? James Chester. To be fair, all James had to do was walk into Bodymoor Heath and he'd already have been better than the last signing we had from West Brom, Jolly and Lescott. James is coming off the back of a good summer with Wales, obviously getting to the semi-finals of the European Cup, and he's picked up where he left off really for Villa. He's easily been our best addition. I think he's turned into a very good leader. Obviously, he's someone that Steve Bruce knows, but even under Di Matteo, I think he was putting in the good performances. He's somewhat of a Rolls-Royce centre-half, and I would go as far as to say he's definitely too good for the Championship, and we did well to snap him up. He's our club, well, he's not our club captain, but he is our captain at the moment, and to be honest, there's no reason to take that armband away from him, even when ELPHICK is playing, because James Chester's done nothing wrong, and for me, he's been our player of the season so far. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10, and give the thumbs up to Di Matteo for bringing him in, and Steve Bruce for continuing to get the best out of him. JEDINAK was the next through that ever-revolving door at Bodymoor Heath, and yes, again, a good signing. Someone that struggled under Di Matteo, someone that really didn't get off to a good start, and someone that the Villa fans weren't too keen on to begin with. But now we've got Steve Bruce in, and he's playing in his proper position, being asked to do the job that he knows. He's really proved his worth. Villa have been too lightweight in midfield for a long time, and JEDINAK has really rectified that. The way he wins the ball back and keeps it simple is a joy to behold, and only a few weeks ago, his assist for KODJIA against Blackburn shows that he can actually play a bit too. Like ELPHICK, his role in the dressing room is also crucial. He's not yet worn the armband for Villa, but you could just tell on the pitch he doesn't need to wear the armband to be a leader, and he's made a real difference to us since Bruce has come in. Now we've got him right, now we've got him in his right position, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10, and hopefully he can continue the good work that he's put in over the last few months, and he is now becoming a real fan's favourite. Richie Delap was signed next to solve the long-running right-back problems, as have been well documented at Villa Park. Unfortunately, I feel a bit harsh rating him because really he hasn't had a chance. He got injured very early on in his Villa Park career, but he was looking good before he did pick up the injuries. And as I say, right-back has been a problem position for a long time. In fairness, since he has been injured, I don't like saying it, but Alan Hutton has stepped up his game slightly, but for me, Delap was a step above Hutton, and obviously again had experience in the league, which was good to see. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 simply because we haven't really seen him play, but I look forward to him coming back into the team because he was making a decent impact before his injury. Now it's the big man, Jonathan KODJIA, an unbelievable signing, like Chester, arguably our best signing, and definitely too good for the Championship. Whether he's played wide, which he has more often or not, or whether he's been up front, he's been a real handful, and you could see from his first game against Nottingham Forest that we'd signed a very talented player. Bristol City fans, and to be honest, football fans in general, said that we'd overpaid for him in this league, but 15 million now looks like an absolute bargain, and whether or not we go up, I'd bet money on him being a Premier League player next season, because as I say, he's too good for the Championship. He's scored some unbelievable goals. He's just all-round player, has been excellent. He can carry the ball, he can hold the ball up, he's strong, he's decent in the air, he's got good feet, and he's got a lethal shot, and he's a very good finisher. KODJIA's been the striker we've missed since Benteke, and arguably he's our talisman like Benteke was. I can't give KODJIA anything else other than a 9 out of 10 and keep commending him for the good work he's putting in. He also works very hard, which doesn't always happen for lone centre-forwards or forwards on the wing, but he has definitely got the work rate. So well done, Jonathan KODJIA. You've been a great signing. Finally, it was Albert ADOMAH that came in from Middlesbrough with Adama Traore going the other way. People rave about Traore, and I can see that he is an exciting player that may well turn out to be a very good player in the future. But for me, we got the best end of that deal with ADOMAH because over the recent weeks, he's really shown what he's about. He can sometimes be a little frustrating, and he definitely was when he first came in and had his first run of games. But recently, he's been a different level for us and someone who's really, really doing well for us. He's linking up well with whichever forward players play with him, and we obviously lack a bit of width when he doesn't play. Being our only genuine winger, I think he's a must starter at the moment, and he's been a good signing, and it was nice to see him recently get his first goal. He seems to lift up all the other players around him as well, and he seems to be a real character with a real big personality. So ADOMAH, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10 at the moment, but he is definitely pushing towards an 8, and I've been very impressed with him in the last 3 or 4 games. That's it for the Villa View today. I'm sure we'll be doing a preview soon with the players that we think we should sign in January, but it was good to go back and review the ones that we've signed in the summer. Do you agree with what I said? Was I a bit harsh with some? Was I a bit too generous with others? Please let us know in the comments below. Remember, also subscribe to us. That would be fantastic. And as ever, we really thank you for watching. We really appreciate your support, and up the Villa.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.